snap. There's the kick. It's gone. Oh my God. The kick is gone.
B.S.N Sports Nerd present Joe's Fantasy Field Goal.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Joe's Fantasy Field Goal. Sorry about last week. Recorded a whole episode, lost it. I mentioned it on the B.S.N Sports Nerds podcast from last week. I had a fantasy field goal for you guys, and the computer froze, and it's gone. So now you're getting one this Tuesday, as opposed to last Tuesday. It's going to be pretty much the same episode I already recorded, but I'm going to do it twice, because I love you. We got 3 points to help you win your fantasy league this year, as we do every episode. The 3 points today are a tip about looking at Vegas over-unders to decide who to play, or it can help decide who to play. Tip 2 is going to be 4 players, one at each position, main position, that I think are going to be sleepers this year. And the point 3 is we're going to do a mock draft. There's a really awesome mock draft site called fantasydraftwizard.com. Let me just double check that. I think that's the actual name of it. Draftwizard.fantasypros.com. You can do mock drafts not against, you don't mock draft against other people. You're mock drafting against experts and average draft position. It's kind of all calculated in. And it uses some really good logic. You don't have to wait for, it simulates it really fast. You don't have to worry about other people messing up your drafts. So we're going to do a mock draft as the third point. But let's get into it. So the first point is about Vegas odds. You should check the Vegas over-under on the total points for each matchup every week. Game like, let's say, using last year's teams, obviously, let's say a game like the Saints versus the Buccaneers. Those games were Vegas over-under bonanzas. High point totals. I think they were usually in the 50s. 50 points something over-under, which is really high. That's good to know. Because Vegas is usually spot on with these kind of things, and if they think that 50 plus points are going to be scored in a game, if they're setting the over-under at 50 something, that means there's going to be a lot of touchdowns. That means you probably want to start any Saints or any Buccaneers you have in that game. And so you should keep an eye on that for all of your team, all your matchups every week. Just take a peek, see what the high over-under numbers are, and see if you have any players in those matchups, and if it would make sense for you to start them this week, because Vegas thinks, and Vegas is usually spot on, that there's going to be a lot of points scored. So it's worth it to take a peek. We're going to go right into point 2. There's not really much more to say about point 1, really. Point 2 is going to be my sleepers. I have one for each position. These are guys that are going to be drafted late, in some cases not drafted at all, for their position, late for their position, and one is not drafted at all, and who I think you can get really good value out of. Sorry, taking a drink. So, the first sleeper I have here is a quarterback and it is Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer had like an MVP caliber season 2 years ago, and then was not very good last year. But I think it's because of his supporting cast. John Brown was supposed to break out last year after a pretty good late season like 2 years ago, but he came down with sickle cell, and it really hurt his legs, and he couldn't run, so he didn't play. And then Michael Floyd got into all of his legal shit and ended up leaving for New England. Well, getting cut and then going to New England, which left like I think it was JJ Nelson, and I don't even remember the other guy's name. Jalen Brown? Another Jay Brown, I think. As the wide receivers along with Larry Fitzgerald, and they've never been a big tight end team. So it's pretty much David Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, and subpar wide receiver talent for Carson Palmer to throw to. He ended up with like 9 less touchdowns and 3 more picks. But he did come back strong at the end of the year. I think 3 of his last 4 weeks he had 20-something points. I think that's what it is. Right now he's being drafted in the close to the end of the 13th round, which is really late for a quarterback, and I think his upside is top 10 because he has John Brown supposedly has the sickle cell trait under control. It's not bothering him through all of the offseason so far. He's been completely healthy. He's been running. He's been at camp. All good things. They spent a 3rd round pick on a receiver, Chad Williams, I think his name is. He's supposed to be good. Big dude. And they have Larry back. Still have David Johnson. So I'm thinking with John Brown healthy again, this kid Chad Williams there, Larry back, David Johnson still there, that we could see a little bit of a bounce back from Carson Palmer, and him going in the late 13th round is definitely a value. I mean, guys going back there like Carson Wentz and Brian Hoyer's not even being drafted. Not good quarterbacks. Tyrod Taylor's going in the 11th round. He was actually going to be my sleeper until I saw Carson Palmer is going 2 rounds behind Tyrod Taylor. So, Carson Palmer is a great sleeper at quarterback. My sleeper at running back is Danny Woodhead. Danny Woodhead is sneaky good. Late running back to grab. No matter, I mean, he's the best in PPR formats. Obviously, he's usually not as good of a value there because people know that he catches the ball a lot. But even in standard, I think him going to Baltimore helps him out a lot. Joe Flacco threw the ball like 150 times to running backs last year, which is like 3rd in the league, I think. And Danny Woodhead specializes in that. The only other guy running back, Kyle Juszczyk, is gone, who caught a lot of, he was the fullback, he caught a lot of the passes out of the backfield that Joe Flacco was throwing. He's gone. Steve Smith's targets are gone. Dennis Pitt is hurt. He's gone. They brought in Jeremy Maclin, so I'm guessing Steve Smith's targets will go to him. Kyle Juszczyk's targets, though, are going to go to Danny Woodhead. And they would have gone to Kenneth Dixon, but Kenneth Dixon is going to be suspended for the first 4 games. So those targets are all going to go to Danny Woodhead. They're not going to be split up with Kenneth Dixon. All reports out of camp are that Danny Woodhead looks great. Joe Flacco has been singing his praises the whole time. He will get touches out of the backfield as a running back. He's going to catch a hell of a lot of balls. Going to rack up a lot of yards on the ground, through the air. He's not very reliable for touchdowns, but he'll score some. I like Danny Woodhead. He's going in the very back of the 7th round, almost the 8th round. which is super late for a guy who can produce very, very solid running back 2 numbers. And pretty much has very consistently produced running back 2 numbers. So I like Danny Woodhead that late. He's a great sleeper. My third sleeper is from the same team. You notice I might have said that Dennis Pitta is hurt. Well, Dennis Pitta's hurt. Crockett Gilmore is hurt. Max Williams is gone. If he's there, he doesn't mean anything. But Ben Watson is there, and he is looking to be the starting tight end for Baltimore this year. Baltimore targets the tight end more than any team in the NFL. Flacco led the NFL in targets for a tight end. And did I say Flacco? Pitta led the NFL in targets for a tight end. And he's gone. He's hurt. He's not coming back. He's retired. Watson is going to be your tight end. He had a good year with the Saints when he was there. Then he got hurt when he went to Baltimore. And we never saw him play last year. He's coming back off the injury, but he will be the starter in a pass heavy. They throw the ball like 61% of the time, more than any other team in the NFL. I don't know why they throw the ball that much, but they do. And they target the tight end the most. So why would you not want the tight end on the team that throws the most to the tight end and throws the ball over 60% of the time? And he's going undrafted. That's right, completely undrafted. You can pick him up after the draft. So that is a super deep sleeper. You can punt tight end, still get the tight end for the team that throws the ball more than anyone and throws the ball to the tight end more than anyone. And my sleeper for wide receiver is going to be Kenny Britt. Kenny Britt, I know, he's on the Browns. I know. Trust me. I know. Relax, though. Because all Kenny Britt has ever done is performed on bad teams. Last year, he was over 1,000-yard receiver. He was a really good wide receiver for a really, really bad Rams team with a really bad quarterback. And I think the same thing will happen, and he'll be over 1,000-yard receiver on a really bad Browns team with I would think an actual better quarterback, Cody Kessler, than in Jared Goff last year. I think Cody Kessler is better than Jared Goff. And maybe Cody Kessler won't be the quarterback. Maybe it'll be Kaiser. I don't know. Either way, I think the quarterback situation in Cleveland is better than Jared Goff in LA. And Kenny Britt was still a 1,000-yard receiver in LA, and I think he'll be a 1,000-yard receiver in Cleveland. I know Corey Coleman threatens to take a lot of touches away from him, or a lot of receptions. But Corey Coleman is injury prone. He's injured right now in training camp. He was injured last year for almost all of the year. He's injured right now in training camp. He has a hamstring problem, and hamstring problems linger. I like Corey Coleman's upside. I think he has a lot of boom-bust potential, and if he busts, Kenny Britt is going to be huge. And you can get him at the start of the 12th round. At the worst, he's a wide receiver 3, I think. At the worst. He definitely has wide receiver 2 upside. And you can get him super late in the 12th round. That's after pretty much all the really good wide receivers. Now you're shooting at rookies, hoping to land at that point. So I really like Kenny Britt, even though he's on the Browns. I know, he's on the Browns, but calm down. Look at it logically. He was on a really bad Rams team. He was still a really good receiver. He's going to the Browns team, which is also really bad. Better offensive line. I think better quarterback. Better situation overall. I think he'll be just fine, and you can get him super late. So that's my sleeper at wide receiver. Those are my 4 sleepers that I have this year, 1 at each position. Carson Palmer, Danny Woodhead, Ben Watson, and Kenny Britt. So we are going to get right into this mock draft. Like I said, We're at draftwizard.fantasypros.com. We're doing a mock draft, a football mock draft. You can set all sorts of things here. You can set whether it is a standard or PPR, if it is where you're drafting, how many teams, how big your roster has to be, all sorts of stuff here. It is a great mock draft tool. We are going to be drafting in a standard league, snake draft, 12 teams in the league. We're going to be drafting out of the 8th spot. It's 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, kicker, defense, 7 bench players. That's what we're going to be drafting here. So let me just pull up my notes so I don't mess this draft up real fast. And we'll see what we can do. Alright, let's start the draft. Alright, we were picking at 8. The first picks were... Hold on. David Johnson went first, Lev Bell went second, Ezekiel Elliott went third. That's what you're going to see in most mock drafts, those 3 big running backs going off the board. Keep an eye on Ezekiel Elliott, though. He's been getting into some legal troubles. The bigger his suspension, the more likely I expect him to fall. After Ezekiel Elliott, you had OBJ, then Antonio Brown, and Julio Jones. So the 3 big running backs and the 3 big wide receivers go off the board right away. We have on the board for us Mike Evans, Melvin Gordon, AJ Green, Devonta Freeman, Jordy Nelson, Jay Ajayi. I'm going to take Devonta Freeman. I think he's the best running back available right now on this board. And we need to go running back first because it matters big time in this league these days. Wide receivers are a dime a dozen. Alright, after I took Devonta Freeman, AJ Green went, Jay Ajayi, Mike Evans, Melvin Gordon. Then at the start of the second, we had Jordy Nelson, Jordan Howard, Michael Thomas, and Dez Bryant. On the board for me right now, we have DeMarco Murray, T.Y. Hilton, Todd Gurley, Amari Cooper, Doug Baldwin, Leonard Fournette. I'm really tempted to go running back here. What was Devonta Freeman's bye week? By week 5. Yeah, I'm really tempted to go running back here. I'm going to go Devonta Freeman, DeMarco Murray. I'm going to get 2 studs at running back. It's a very thin running back pool this year. So I'm going to get a real solid running back core. After I took DeMarco Murray, Leonard Fournette went, then T.Y. Hilton, then Todd Gurley, then Gronk, then Aaron Rodgers, way too high for a quarterback, 210, Aaron Rodgers went. Then we got Marshawn Lynch and Brandon Cooks. Remember what I said about Brandon Cooks? 212, that's really high for him. Then we had Lamar Miller going at the start of the 3rd round, Amari Cooper at 3-2, Alshon Jeffrey at 3-3, DeAndre Hopkins at 3-4, Tom Brady at 3-5, that's real high too. Doug Baldwin at 3-6, and Isaiah Crowell at 3-7. We are on the board. We have Allen Robinson, Demaryius Thomas, Sammy Watkins, Devontae Adams, Carlos Hyde, Travis Kelce. I think I'm going to take... Do I want the boomer bust of a Sammy Watkins or a much more steady Demaryius Thomas? I'm going to go boom bust Sammy Watkins. He can be a stud. This works perfect actually, because after we took Sammy Watkins, Drew Brees went, Joe Mixon. That's really high for Joe Mixon. Dalvin Cook, high for Dalvin Cook too. Demaryius Thomas went at the 3-12. Then at the turn, we have Christian McCaffrey going at the start of the 4th. C.J. Anderson, Allen Robinson at 4-3, and then Carlos Hyde. I'm back on the board, and Devontae Adams is there. I'm thinking he's the pick. I'm really liking Devonta Adams here. What was Sammy Watkins? What's Sammy Watkins bye week? By week 6. All right. I really like Devonta Adams here. Travis Kelce's on the board. Terrell Pryor, Michael Crabtree, Keenan Allen, Ty Montgomery. Oh, Michael Crabtree. Nope, I'm gonna go upside again. Devonta Adams was nasty last year. I think he can repeat. There's always enough mouths to feed there's always enough passes to go around in that Green Bay offense. So I'm gonna go Devonta Adams and see what we have when we get back. Alright, after Devonta Adams, Julian Edelman, Keenan Allen, Travis Kelce, Terrell Pryor, Jordan Reed, Spencer Ware, Jarvis Landry, and then Matt Ryan at the start of the 5th. 5-2 is Tyreek Hill, Golden Tate, Eddie Lacy at 5-4. Fuck, Crabtree went off the board. I don't like that. Tevin Coleman, Emmanuel Sanders. I feel like I should get another running back. Ty Montgomery's there. Andrew Luck is still on the board. We are in the 5th round. It's kind of late for Andrew Luck. Gillislee is there. I think I'm going to take Mike Gillislee. I'm looking at some of these other wide receivers, and I feel comfortable going running back one more time here. Some of you might be screaming quarterback, quarterback, quarterback. If you guys listen to the podcast, you know I'm not going quarterback this early. I'm not going tight end this early. Although Andrew Luck is kind of tempting at the 5th round. But, nope. I'm really thinking Gillislee. Yep. We're going Gillislee. I took Gillislee. Perfect. This works out great. I took Gillislee. After that, Ty Montgomery went off the board, then Andrew Luck, Martavis Bryant went, Greg Olsen, Mark Ingram, Stephen Diggs, Devontae Parker, Amir Abdullah, Larry Fitzgerald fell to me in the 6th. I think his ADP is the 7th, though. Dante Moncrief is there. He does have the same bye week as Devonta Adams, but never let bye weeks get in the way of players you want. You can always figure something out by week 8. I'm going to go Fitz. We're going Fitz. It's a good pick there. Alright, so we have, after I picked Fitz, Roethlisberger went before Russell Wilson. Think about that. Doug Martin off the board, Bilal Powell, Delaney Walker's off the board, Brandon Marshall, Jimmy Graham. We got LeGarrette Blount at the 7-1, Derek Carr at the 7-2, Frank Gore, Kyle Rudolph, Tyler Eifert, Derrick Henry, Deshaun Jackson. They want me to go quarterback here. They don't know me very well. Dante Moncrief is still there. Anyone who knows me knows I have a giant love for Dante Moncrief. Oh yeah, okay. We're gonna take Moncrief here to add some depth at wide receiver. Or do I want Jamison Crowder? Hold on, let me consult my notes. Let me see how I have these guys ranked. Who do I have ranked higher? Hold on 1 second. Wide receivers. I think it's Dante. We're doing standard, so Moncrief is more touchdown heavy guy than Jamison Crowder is. He's more of a slot guy. Let's see, Moncrief. I'm gonna go with Moncrief. I love Dante Moncrief. I think he's a beast, and I think he's actually when he's there, Andrew Luck looks right at him whenever they're in the goal line. So we took Dante Moncrief. We're going to start stacking up that bench, guys. Other people are going to be reaching for quarterbacks and tight ends here. Look, the big run. So I took Moncrief, Decker went, Crowder went, then Winston and Newton are off the board, 7-11 and 7-12. Then Kelvin Benjamin at 8-1. Then we had 3 tight ends, Martellus Bennett, Hunter Henry, and O.J. Howard. And that leaves a guy I really like in Willie Snead on the board. So we're going to take a Willie Snead there. Willie Snead, Brandon Cooks is gone. All these guys, Michael Thomas to take receptions from him now. I know Ted Ginn is there, but I would expect Willie Snead to be the beneficiary of Brandon Cooks leaving over Ted Ginn. Take a quick drink. After Willie Snead, Jeremy Maclin went. Fuck, I didn't even see Jeremy Maclin. I might have taken him. After Willie Snead, Jeremy Maclin went. Then Zach Ertz, Pierre Garçon, Kirk Cousins went at 8-9. Rashard Matthews, Randall Cobb, Corey Davis went at the 8-12. Kansas City's defense went 9-1. That's really high. Jack Doyle went. Then Danny Woodhead. Fuck, that's my guy. I wanted him. Then Paul Perkins, Adrian Peterson, Kenneth Dixon, and Eric Ebron. Alright, running back is real thin right now. Who do we got here? Forte, Kelly, Theo Riddick, Kareem Hunt, oof, Latavius Murray. Real thin. I think a guy down here is actually who I'm going to grab. So we're going to go back to the well, wide receiver again. Cameron Meredith is there. Who's there at wide receiver? John Brown. Kenny Britt, who's just a sleeper for us. Don't want to wait. We're going to go John Brown. I think John Brown's going to be a stud this year. God, he's a week 8 bye too, though. Jeez, I don't know about all those week 8 buys. What's Cam Meredith? I think I can wait on week 9. I think I can wait on Kenny Britt. We're going to go Cam Meredith. After I took Cam Meredith, John Stewart went, Samaje Perine, Kenny Britt, Denver Broncos defense, Corey Coleman, CJ Prosise, Thomas Rawls, John Brown. Alright. We have to fill 4 more bench slots, tight end, quarterback, kicker. And we are in the 10th round. Marcus Mariota is still on the board. How long do you guys think I can wait? Marcus Mariota is still on the board, but so is my main man, Matthew Stafford. Huh. What do we want to do here? We have 1, 2, 3, 6 wide receivers, 3 running backs. We need another running back. I like a guy down here. I just don't know when he's going. Alright, we're going to go back to the well at wide receiver, and I'm going to take whew. Here we go. Can I sort this by Sorry, I was trying to sort here. There we go. Best wide receiver on the boards: Mike Wallace, Adam Thielen, Tyrell Williams, Quincy Enunwa, Jordan Matthews, Marvin Jones, Mike Williams, Sterling Shepard, Kenny Stills. I think the place to go might be Tyrell Williams. We're going to take Tyrell Williams, and then we'll see if we can get quarterback next round. We took Tyrell Williams, Jordan Matthews went, Latavius Murray, Robert Kelly, Kareem Hunt. Fuck, my running back went. Seattle Seahawks defense, Houston Texans defense, Mike Wallace, Matt Forte, Marvin Jones, Adam Thielen, Quincy Enunwa, Brashard. He went right before me. Brashard Perryman, Theo Riddick, and then fucking Terrence West is off the board. God damn it. Now what do I have left for running backs here? Not a lot, boys. Not a lot. This is a standard league. I'm gonna go. Alright, I have two options here. I go James White, someone I think who can have big weeks and really be involved in that offense every once in a while. But he's gonna be tough to start. Choose when to start and when to sit. And I already have Gillislee in the same offense. Or do I go Jamal Williams, who I don't know what his role with Green Bay is going to be, but I think there's a potential that he takes over that starting role. I'm going to go Jamal Williams. I want to go boom bust here. I want to add some depth, and Marcus Mariota is still there. At a certain point, I gotta draft him, right? I think I have Matt Stafford ranked higher. I do, and Stafford's still there too. I'm gonna take Stafford. It's his bye week, and he doesn't. Mariota has the same bye week as It's like half my team. The thing is, I think I can wait for Stafford. You know what? We're gonna go with who I wanted. We're gonna take Jamal Williams. I really don't care what these people are trying to tell me I shouldn't take him. Jamal Williams it is. After Jamal Williams, DeAndre Washington, Sterling Shepard, Arizona Cardinals, Jamal Charles, Mike Williams, Josh Doxson, Julius Thomas, Kobe Fleener. Alright, Marcus Mariota is still there. Now I'm starting to think he's not coming off the board at this point. I might be the only team that doesn't have a quarterback. So, we are going to go... Why take the quarterback now then? Because there's two quarterbacks I like left. There's four quarterbacks I like left. And I don't think four quarterbacks are coming off the board. And I think I should get another running back. So I'm going to grab Jeremy Hill, because I think he can vulture some touchdowns away from Joe Mixon. And he's still on that team. Or do I want Duke Johnson? It's a standard league. I'm going to go with Jeremy Hill. Alright. So, look at... Ready? So I took Jeremy Hill. Njoku went. Hooper went. Two tight ends. And James White, Alvin Kamara, Duke Johnson, Jaquiz Rogers, John Ross goes off the board. Cameron Brate, Jared Cook, Ted Ginn, Tyler Lockett, Kenny Stills, Giovanni Bernard, Zay Jones. Who's still there? Marcus Mariota. Matt Stafford. Dak Prescott. Andy Dalton. Still there. All are still there. I'm going to take Matt Stafford because I like Matt Stafford more than Marcus Mariota. And this is the 13th round. I'm getting Matt Stafford. He was a top 10 fantasy quarterback last year, I think, before he was an MVP candidate before he got hurt. I don't know how he ended the season when it comes to total stats or whatever. But I got him in the 13th round. Now, what do we got to do for tight end here? Let's see, tight end Jason Witten, CJ Fedorowicz, Antonio Gates, Zach Miller, Dwayne Allen's there, Charles Clay, Jesse James, Gary Barnidge doesn't even have a team. Oh, Ben Watson. I'm going to go old reliable and take Jason Witten. He's been a tight end 1 every year he's been in the league. Little known fact about Jason Witten. And I'm getting him in the last fucking round before defense and a kicker. So I'm taking Jason Witten. Lock up tight end right there. And then kicker defense. I'll take the Giants D. The Giants defense. You sick people. Still got players going, so people. I'm guessing all defenses and kickers are going to go off the board right here. But after I take this, but Mariota went after I took Jason Witten, Laquan Treadwell, Tyler Boyd. Phillip Rivers went 14.9, so someone going with the late round quarterback there. Dion Lewis 14.10, 14.11 Taylor Gabriel, 14.12 Wendell Smallwood. Cole Beasley went 15th round. You know, that's a sneaky. I like that pick. Cole Beasley in the 15th round. He was like the leading receiver for Dallas last year. Marlon Mack, boom bust pick, 15.2. I like that late. Will Fuller, 15.3. Deonta Foreman might be a bad pick now. I think he's going to be suspended for a while. Minnesota Vikings defense goes Andy Dalton, 15.6. This dude could be fucking top 5 quarterback in the NFL this year in fantasy. He went in the 15th round. Rex Burkhead goes after that. I'm going to take the Giants defense with my pick. And then Marquise Lee went. Kevin White, Tyrod Taylor went 15-11. Antonio Gates, J.J. Nelson 16-1. Paul Richardson 16-2. Eli Manning went 16-3. Carolina Panthers goes 16-4. These people already drafted a defense and a kicker? Like, or what? Oh, you know what? I fucked this draft up, boys. I didn't scroll down. I had another bench slot. Well, I took a wide defense too early. Well, that wouldn't happen in a normal draft, but let's see what we got here left to fill this bench slot. You guys want to take a flyer? Cooper Kupp is there. Chris Hogan. I don't think Chris Hogan's going to get a lot of shit this year. Malcolm Mitchell, Allen Hurns, Tavon Austin. Allen Hurns might be a deep little sleeper. He was hurt last year. Mohamed Sanu. You know what? I think I'm going to go with Allen Hurns. I'm not worried about There's nothing in running backs. Get your running backs early, guys. Whew. There's nothing. I'm going to go Allen Hurns. God, he's got a week 8 bye, too. I think week 8 might be the bye-apocalypse, guys. Maybe I won't take Allen Hurns. What's Mohamed Sanu? Week 5 bye. Oh, fuck it. We're going to go Allen Hurns. I should have realized when no one was taking defenses and kickers yet that I was drafting them too early. I was drafting my defense too early. I just need a kicker now. I guess it doesn't really matter at this point who it is. Let's go with a good offense. I'm gonna go Seabass. Janikowski. I got a B draft grade. Wanna know? Here's a extra 4th tip. You wanna know what really doesn't matter? The draft grades. These stupid. Well, they're not stupid, but these draft grades that these mock fantasy things give you, because they're just based off of, you know, whatever dumb rankings they have set up, not actually off of who players you like and how you have them ranked. So this thing fucked up and I lost what my team was. If anyone wants to go back and look at what I just drafted, I can't. My whole team's gone. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, if you listen back, you can hear who I drafted. I know we took Devonta Freeman with the 1st pick, DeMarco Murray with the 2nd. We took Sammy Watkins with the 3rd. Devontae Adams with the 4th pick. Gillislee with my 5th pick. Fitz at 6th pick. 7th pick was Moncrief. 8th was Snead. 9th was not Danny Woodhead. That's who I wanted. Not Jeremy Macklin either, because I realized he was there. I think we ended up with Cam Meredith. I'm trying to remember this just off of what I see here. I think I took Cam Meredith instead of... That was a mistake. I ended up with John Brown. I ended up with Cam Meredith. I didn't get Kenny Britt. I think I took Tyrell Williams. I missed out on Terrence West. So I grabbed Jeremy Hill and the kid from Green Bay. Our tight end was Ben Watson. No, our tight end was Jason Witten. Our quarterback was Stafford. Stafford was the starting quarterback. First running back was Devonta Freeman. Second running back, DeMarco Murray. First wide receiver was Sammy Watkins. Second wide receiver was Devontae Adams. I probably should have picked Michael Crabtree there, because Michael Crabtree's really steady and Sammy Watkins is kind of a boom bust. This is why you do mock drafts, because you can figure it out. Sammy Watkins could be the best, could be a number one receiver, or he could be hurt the whole year. That's why your second receiver pick, you take a guy like Michael Crabtree, who has a lot lower bust potential, is always pretty consistently one of the top wide receivers. My third wide receiver was... Oh, well, I got Fitz, so that's a good pick there. Sammy Watkins, Devontae Adams, Larry Fitzgerald. That's actually a good three wide receiver core. Tight end, I had Jason Witten. Like I said, the dude's been a number one tight end like every year he's been in the league, which is a really crazy stat. My flex was Gillislee, which I don't know. I like Mike Gillislee this year. I think he's going to score a lot. I think he's a better running back than LeGarrette Blount was last year. And the power back for the New England Patriots always has about 9 to 10 touchdowns at least. LeGarrette Blount had 18 last year, which is kind of unheard of. But if Gillislee gets like 10 to 12, plus I think he's a better rusher, so he'll be better in general. I don't know if he'll have 18 touchdowns though. Our defense was the Giants, which I drafted way too early because I didn't know there was another bench spot to fill. Our kicker was Janikowski. I tried to remember who was on the bench, but I'm kind of PO'd that this whole draft I did is gone. But just go back and listen, you can hear my picks. But that's it, guys. That's everything. You got follow the Vegas odds, or not the odds, but the over-unders. High over-unders mean lots of touchdowns. Lots of touchdowns means lots of fantasy points. So pay attention to those. That was tip 1. Tip 2 was the sleepers. Carson Palmer, Danny Woodhead, Ben Watson, Kenny Britt. I didn't end up with any of them. The mock draft I just did, which was the third point, and I kind of liked the team. I don't know how solid the bench was. I kind of fucked up at running back. I should have taken a fourth running back. Guys, don't slouch on running backs this year. It falls off a fucking cliff. It really does. It can never hurt to have enough running backs. There are good receivers way late in the draft. Don't sleep on running backs. I liked my starting lineup. I don't know how great my bench was, but the bench can, sort itself out later in the year a lot of times. I liked my starting lineup though. And I drafted the defense too early. That was a sloppy mock draft. We'll do another one after preseason, like before. I'm gonna say like after week 2 of preseason, because most people will draft after week 3 of preseason. We'll do another mock draft and see what changes. But yeah, that's been it, guys. So hope you enjoyed. Sorry for losing my team. Go back and listen to it to see who I took. I think I got a lot of the people who I ended up with, but I could be forgetting some people. Either way, I'll see you guys next. Actually, what's the calendar look like? When are we going to weekly? Today's the 18th. Alright, so the next podcast will come out August 1st, and then after that it'll be every week. So this is it. This is the last bi-weekly podcast. After this, we're off next week, and then August 1st we come back, and then it's a weekly podcast every week after that for the entire football season. I'll be here helping you guys pick up, trade, and drop, set lineups, all sorts of stuff like that. So stay tuned to Joe's Fantasy Field Goal. I'm out.